Lupita, I was very intrigued to learn, I did not know, that you actually live part-time in Uganda. Why? What brought you there? And had you not heard of this story in your daily life, or how did you find out about it?
Yeah, I've lived in Uganda since 1989. I went there to make Mississippi Masala with Denzel Washington, and I fell in love with a wonderful man and began a family there.
Not Denzel Washington. Let's clear that up.
He's much better looking, my guy. And have a life there, gave birth to a son there, planted gardens, created a film school. I really engaged in Uganda, and it is my home. And the extraordinary thing was this story of Fiona, which was really a beautiful thing to do. But also the heads of department were people who have worked with me for several years, between Stephanie Carroll, the designer. Sean Bobbitt was the great director of photography. This was my first time with him. And he's a real son of the continent. He's made several films there. And Barry Brown, who was the editor of this film, and this film was really constructed so much in the editing room. And chess was such a challenge, to shoot and to make dramatic and emotional. He did Salam Bombay, my first films with me, and so it was and Lydia Pilcher, who produced it. I've worked with her on every film for 25 years. So it's a real film family that I carry with me, or who carry me, I should say, into every film I make. But the crew here was largely local and South African, both a mix of things.
Medina, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that not only had you never acted in a film before, but you had never been to a movie theater and seen a movie on a big screen until you were filming this project. And you went and saw what, Jurassic World?
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw your first movie on a big screen?
I felt very happy, and then I asked David, is this what we are doing, really?
And what'd you say?
I just couldn't believe. I was like, "What are you talking about? We're halfway through the movie. Of course, this is what we're doing." I mean, I had taken a bunch of them to see Jurassic World. We should preface this by saying I had claw marks in my arms at this point because Medina was so scared from watching the movie. But yeah, she said, "Is this what we're doing?" And I asked, "Have you ever seen a movie before?" She said, "No." But there was something so amazing about working with Medina and the others from that point of view, because they were so unaffected. They don't, like Lupita and I, we know what it's going to be. They didn't and don't. And the energy you see coming off the screen is very real. And we had to sort of get into that. You may think that they learned from us, but we really learned from them. It was like, I was so reinvigorated as an actor by being around this energy.
So Medina, what was the second time you saw a movie on a big screen?
Seeing Queen of Katwe being premiered in Toronto.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
I have to also say that I was sitting next to Fiona Mutesi while we were doing the world premiere of this film last Saturday, and this was the first film she had seen on the big screen ever, and it was a story of her life. It was a remarkable realization that that's really the reality. Because in Kampala, we have video shacks. We have pirated movies in video shacks. And we really only started having movie theaters about 5 years ago. So it's a new world. And a ticket to a movie theater costs as much as a person's salary for a month. So that's the reality of why movies are not that oftenly seen in theaters like this one.
So basically, and one was Jurassic World and one was you on a big screen. You should just basically never go to a movie again. The whole experience is ruined. You did such a phenomenal job, Medina, for your first performance. I'm so So there are people all over the country, as I mentioned, who just watched the film, and also people on Twitter who submitted questions for you all. So here's the first one from Meg Fasano on Twitter. This question's for you, Lupita. What about this story stood out to you and made you want to be involved?
Oh boy. What stood out to me is that this was a very intimate story. Oftentimes, when it comes to stories based on the African continent, it's larger scale stories of dictators and wars and famines and things like that. But here we just have a small girl with a big dream who achieves it, and there was a female character at the center of it, and that it's a story about realizing your dreams and the power of dreams. I mean, for me, this is a testament to my life, having gone with my passion of acting and it having gone so well. And then the script came, and it's an anthem for the younger generation of how valuable it is to find out what you're passionate about and put your mind and heart to that, because then you are of use in the world. Fiona couldn't have known that when she was pursuing this chess, that it would one day pull her family out of poverty. She also couldn't have known that her story would one day become a larger story in Hollywood, on a global platform, and that she would one day be an icon for her country, and a sense of and be a symbol of pride for her country. And she couldn't have known that she would one day give me a job, And so for me, this is about the power of putting yourself to your passions, and what good it can do in the world, the way in which it can just reverberate. And that's what drew me to this story.
Thank you. Favorite part about working on set in Uganda, and then also at the Best West, who's watching the film in DC, what was the most challenging part of filming in Uganda?
Well, for me, one of my favorite things about working on this film in particular was watching Lupita practice her walk. Did you notice the walk? I will demonstrate. So you see all the raps, and then it. No, I mean it was to watch her studying, because it's an extraordinary thing. In all seriousness, it's an extraordinary thing to have a movie star who looks like this, to have a fashion icon who looks like this, to have an Oscar winner who looks like this, and who can also fit into being a corn seller in Uganda seamlessly. That has never happened before. So when I make fun of the walk, it's that thing whereby you go, oh my goodness, someone who can pass as a corn seller in that market can also be this. Someone who can pass as and be a chess champion, can look like a world chess champion, can be found in a slum, be a woman who is being marginalized, a girl being marginalized, and still go on to attain great things. I mean, the things around this film are so important. And the walk was very lovely to watch. Yeah.